reality and presence. We're going to enter into, at this point in the study, we're going to enter into the category of to know, or the revelation gifts. The revelation gifts are like a spiritual FBI. They are the gifts that are there to help us to know by the power of God, to look into, to see, and to bring to the surface. I might say at this point, and I can say this from experiential activity in this realm or this category of the gifts of the Spirit, I'd like to say to you that when I first got involved with the revelation gifts, when the word of knowledge first began to work in my life, I made some serious mistakes. And let me explain. When I first began to know things by the Spirit of God, because it was so obvious to me, because I saw it so clearly, I would simply tell what I knew, or I would simply state what I saw in the presence of other ministers, sometimes in the presence of saints that I pastored or knew, and they did not understand. I was rebuked by some of my minister friends. They thought I was being judgmental. They thought I was being extremely critical. And I couldn't understand. And it took a while, but finally I began to understand that the reason they were reacting the way they were reacting when I said some of the things I said is because they did not see what I saw. They did not know what I knew. And I decided that it would be the will of God for me to know, to see, to understand, because God was giving this to me for my own protection, for my own insight. And He was giving me these things so that I might be able to minister to others, to help others out of difficulties, and to bring about a greater deliverance in their life and in their walk of salvation. I learned to keep quiet. I learned not to voice what I saw, what I knew in the Spirit. I simply stayed quiet. I still do in many situations. I simply remain quiet because I understood that they did not see what I saw. They did not know what I knew. And because of that, I became misunderstood. Be careful how you demonstrate what you know and what you see if you enter into or operate in the realm of the knowledge gifts, because other people may not see. The problem was I saw so clearly that I assumed everyone else would see what I saw. I mean, it was so obvious to me. I couldn't believe that they didn't see what I saw. But they were not operating or moving in or ministering in this particular realm of the gifts of the Spirit, because God had not given them revelation, because He had not given them knowledge or wisdom about a situation. They could not relate to what I was saying. It did not mean I had not heard from God. It simply meant they had not heard and they could not see. It may happen to you in the same fashion or the same manner. I made mistakes. The mistake was I told things I should not have told. I said things I should not have said because others did not understand and could not relate to it. Wisdom, knowledge, discerning of spirits, these three gifts have to do with revelation from God. Things that are revealed from God to us through His Spirit. In order to understand the word of wisdom, which is the first on the list of the 9 gifts of the Spirit, perhaps it would be wise first to look at the word of knowledge and then progress to the word of wisdom. The word of knowledge. The word of knowledge is simply facts. Facts that are imparted from God. Here we are working with revelation gifts. It's like a bloodhound, for example, that is set out on a trail. He picks up a scent. He can pass 1,000 other scents, but he doesn't lose that one scent. It's a simple parable, something perhaps you would know about. But the Holy Ghost works like that. The word of knowledge works like that. You pick it up and you can follow it through. You can follow the thing through. In other words, you can sniff it out. You can follow the thing through, and you can pass up many other things, but you don't lose that one particular little signal or scent that you have picked up. However, the word of knowledge is not meant to be a peeping Tom. It's not meant to be that which discloses everything ugly or obscene about an individual's life. It is rather given for a help. When people are in trouble and they need help, it can open up and God can speak to us. He can speak to us. For example, there are people that have come to me, and when they have come to me for counsel, not even knowing them, the word of knowledge will begin to come to me, and I will look at them when they stop speaking, and I will begin to tell them things about their life that they know that I could not possibly know unless God had spoken to me. This does one of two things. It helps them to understand that God really loves them. And it helps them to know that God is reaching for them. It'll help them to know one or the other or both. And hopefully both, because when both of these revelations come to an individual, then suddenly their faith is lifted and they realize that there is hope for them and that God is reaching for them. The gifts of the Spirit are given to help. They are not given to destroy. They are given to help, and they are given to protect. They are given to help us along life's way in this earthly pilgrimage. You can pick up, for example, in your natural body, heat. You can tell when it's hot outside. You can also tell when it's cold. The same thing is true in your spirit. You can pick up people's spirits. You can pick up coldness in people. You can pick up kindnesses in people. You can pick up anger in people. You can tell by a person's voice if there is love in that soul, in that life. You can pick up warmth in a person's voice. You can pick up faith. You can pick up compassion. A person's voice will reveal hatred. It will reveal bitterness. It will reveal resentments. Now here, you don't always have to have the gifts of the Spirit to pick up on these things. They are just naturally there. You can pick it up because of your human spirit, because of experiences all of life through. You've seen hatred someplace else. So when this person begins to talk to you, you can also feel that hatred just in the natural. You can feel these things. When the gifts of the Spirit come into play, when you put the anointing of the gifts of the Spirit upon what man is naturally endowed with, you have such power, you have such a miraculous avenue to work in, that in the end result, nothing really becomes impossible, because what you cannot solve, the wisdom of God, the knowledge of God, can solve. Jesus has the answers. He's the answer to everything. And by seeking Him, we can know those answers, and we can give those answers to others, or we can find them out for ourselves. If there is anything covered, Jesus warned about covering sins. He warned about covering our sin and going on in it. He said it'll be exposed. It'll be shouted from the housetops, He said. So if there's anything covered up in a person's life, it will come out. And usually it will come out in His Word, because man is His Word. A man's words will reveal itself. There is something in us right here that we can just sort of pick it up. And then, of course, Jesus told us. He said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. If you just listen to a person talk, you'll be able to pick up a great deal without the operation of the gifts of the Spirit. You will just suddenly begin to know if you listen. Jesus gave us all the answers. The sad thing is, we don't listen to what He said, and we don't take to heart what He said. But if we simply listen, we can pick up, because what is in the human heart will come out. Man will reveal himself. The word of knowledge is a mind gift. Knowledge has to do with the mind. And so, knowledge, divine knowledge, the word of knowledge specifically, which becomes knowledge from